Hello everyone. Today what we're going to be covering are percent problems using proportions. Okay, the percent proportion, this is what it states. Percent is to 100 as the part is to the whole. So what does that mean? What that means is you'll write the percent over 100, and that's equal to whatever the part is that's being compared to the whole. Okay? So let's go into examples to explain what this means. Okay? So here's some examples. Identify the percent, the whole, and part in each. So we've got a percent, a whole, and a part. Okay, so let's read our problem here. Okay, it says 30% of 900 women were retired. How many were retired? Okay, so what does the 30% tell you? Well, that's the percent. So that would be, the percent would actually be 30, okay? Because by placing it, if you look above here, by placing it over 100, this makes it 30%, okay, if you were to place it in there. Okay, now let's look at the whole and the part. Okay, the whole is going to be a big group, okay? Oftentimes the whole is after the word of. Do you see the word of here? It's usually the number that falls after the word of. Okay, that's going to be the whole. The whole, in this case, 900 women. It's like they took a sample of 900 women. And of 900 women, 30% of them were retired. So the retired part is just, it's a portion of that larger group of women. So 900 is the whole. So what's the part? Well, look here. It says how many were retired. That's the part. Okay, so that's the unknown. We're going to let that be x, okay, because we don't know it. Okay, so this one didn't really ask us to go in and solve these, but I'm going to go in and solve them because I want you to also see that part of it too. So let's put it into our equation up here. Okay, so here we have percent is 30. It says over 100 is equal to the part, which is x in our case, over the whole. The whole for us is 900. Okay, so now what you do is, just like how we solved proportions in the earlier on in this chapter, you just cross multiply. Okay, so you get 100x is equal to 27,000. Okay, and now divide by 100. If we divide this by 100, what you see is that the zeros, these two zeros are gone with those two zeros, so you get out an answer of 270. Okay, so what this tells you is that 270 of those 900 women were retired. Okay, if you wanted 30% of them. Okay, so that's how you go in and do these types of problems. Okay, so let's move on to part B. $150 is 25% of what number? Okay, so again we need percent, the whole, and the part. Okay, so what is each item? $150 is 25% of what number? Well, remember how I said after the of is usually where the whole part sits? Well, the what number, that tells you that's our unknown, x. Okay, we know the 25 goes here, so 150 must be the part. Okay, 150 is 25% of what number? So it's like taking 25% of a number would give you $150. So now we go in and we can plug it into our problem here. So you could do it as 25 over 100, or what you could have done was you could have just written the percent here as a decimal. Okay. If you like dealing with decimals better than fractions, you could have put 0.25 is equal to, and then we have the part, which is 150 over the whole. What this gets you into, though, is now you're dealing with decimal values, which I personally would rather not do, but that's up to you. I'm going to put it as 100 over 100, convert it to 25 over 100. So now cross multiplying, we get 25x is equal to 15,000. Okay, so what does x equal then? So x is equal to, 25 goes into 156 times, so with the two zeros get to attached onto the end. So 600. Okay, so what that tells us is that if you had $600, okay, $600, then 25% of it would be $150. Okay, if 7 students failed, what percent of 300 students failed? Okay, so let's look for percent, whole, and part. Okay, so it says if 7 students failed, what percent? So there's the question. What percent? That's what we don't know. X. What percent of, there's the keyword of the 350 students failed? Okay, so the word that follows after the of is the 350, and that's the larger group of people that you're looking at. And then you're looking at, okay, there's a certain percentage of them that something happened to. In this case, it's failing. And so 7 of those failed. So let's put this in equation then. You got x over 100 is equal to 7 over 350. Okay, so now cross multiplying, I'm going to probably run out of room here, is 350 x is equal to 700. Okay, divide both sides by 350. Okay, what would we get when we do this? Okay, x is equal to 2. So what does that tell us? That tells us that 2% of the students failed, because that 2 is a percent, okay? All right, so that's how we deal with these types of equations. Let's get into some word problems dealing with these types of equations, okay? And this is something I already discussed. The whole is the entire quantity. The whole often appears after the word of. These are just to help remind you what these two pieces of the puzzle are. The part is the number being compared to the whole. Okay, so let's do you try it. Number 1. Okay, 18 of the 60 singers in the Tulsa Choral are sopranos. What percent of the singers are sopranos? So let's look at getting our information down. We need percent, we need the whole, and we need a part. Okay, so what do we have here? Okay, let's see. Do we have, it says what percent. So what percent, that would tell us that, what don't we know? We don't know percent. So that's what we're going to let x equal. So if you want to, we can do it the way we always used to do it. Let x equal percent. Okay, and then fill out the rest of what we do know. Okay, so what percent of singers? Well, what's the large group of singers? The large group of singers is that there's 60 singers in the Tulsa Choral. Okay, so the part is 18. Okay, so let's put this in our equation. X over 100 is equal to 18 over 60. Okay, so what we're doing is cross multiply now. Okay, so we wind up with 60. X is equal to 1800. Okay, divide both sides of the equation by 60. Okay, again, canceling these out and noticing that 6 goes into 180, a total of 30 times. So x is equal to, let me see here, yep, 30. Okay, so what that tells us is that 30% of the singers are soprano, or are sopranos. Okay, so that's how you would answer the statement. Okay, going through and solving it. Since you were looking for a percent here, okay, you have to make sure that you attach the percent sign on to the end of it when answering the statement of the question. Okay, so let's get into the next problem. You try it, number 3. Okay, you try it, number 3 says 15% of the seniors at Kramer High School are eligible for admission to UCLA. If there are 120 seniors at Kramer High, how many are eligible for admission? Okay, so what are we looking for? Let's start out with a let x equal. how many are eligible for admission? So this is going to be students eligible for admission. Okay, so what is that, the students eligible for admission? If it says up here 15% of the seniors, okay, there's the of, and then seniors. How many seniors are there? Do we know how many seniors there are? It says right here that there are 120 seniors. That means this right here, because of it following after the word of here, that's the whole part, okay? So we've got the whole. The whole is equal to 120 seniors. The percent is 15, and then the part is what we don't know, which is the x. Okay, so this little legend here helps you to throw together that equation real easily. Okay, so what we have is 15 over 100 is equal to x over 120. Okay. So now going in, cross multiplying. Excuse me. Okay, so what we have here is 100x is equal to, okay, what's 15 times 120? Well, if you don't know it right off the top of your head, see, then we've got this. Add it together, 1800. Okay, so 1800. So now let's divide both sides by 100. Okay, and we can cancel out our zeros, and so what we're left with is that x is equal to 18. Well, what piece of information does that give us? We can look here, and it says that's the number of students that are eligible for admission to UCLA. Okay, so that would be your answer. 18 students will be eligible for UCLA admission. Okay? All right. So that's how you do that word problem. Okay, let's go on to the next word problem. Okay, 28% of, this is you try it number 4 in your book, 28% of the University of Virginia Cavaliers baseball team throw left-handed. If 7 members of the team throw left-handed, how many players are on the team? Okay, so what are we trying to do? We're trying to find, let x equal, how many players are on the team. So number of players on the team. So that's a total. That sounds like the whole part to me. Okay, so let's look at what we have for percent, whole, and part. I know we've already taken care of one of those in the let x equal. I kind of like to have it down here so I know how to put my equation together. Okay, so the percent is 28%. Okay, it says if 7 members of the team throw left-handed, how many players are on the team? So 7 is the part, and we don't know the whole. We want to know the whole, how many are on the whole team. Okay, so here's our equation then. 28 over 100 is equal to 7 over x. Okay, so what we wind up with is 28x by cross multiplication is equal to 700. So dividing both sides by 28. X is equal to, well, now we've got to work this out off to the side. 700 divided by 28. Okay, that would go in 2 times, total of 2 times, so 1656. Let's subtract that. Okay. So 140. So let's look at what 5 multiplied by 28 would be. So that would be 40. That would be 14. Perfect. Okay, so goes in nice and evenly, 25. So how many people are on the team? Okay, there are 25 members, or I should say players. 25 players are on the team. Okay, so that's how you do those types of problems. So Good luck with the percent problems with proportions, using proportions, and I will see you next time. Good luck.